You know what truly turns people away from many elderly folks, yet no one dares to tell them? It's not wrinkles, gray hair, or even slow movement. It's certain unnoticed behaviors that quietly push others away. Most seniors don't realize they're doing them, but everyone around them does. And the truth is, these little habits can shape how others see you far more than you think. In today's video, we'll talk about 6 ugly things many elderly people do that everyone notices, but no one tells you. This isn't meant to criticize, but to awaken awareness and restore dignity, confidence, and warmth in how you connect with others. Sometimes it's not age that makes us look old, it's attitude, energy, and presence. As someone who's seen decades of life, I've noticed how people change with age. Some grow gentler and wiser, while others unintentionally develop traits that make others uncomfortable or distant. But the good news is that every one of these can be corrected once you become aware of them. Let's go through these together, one by one. And by the end of this video, you'll understand not only how to avoid them, but how to become the kind of elder others respect, admire, and truly enjoy being around. Now let's begin. Number 1, complaining about everything. One of the most common and least attractive habits many elderly people develop is constant complaining. You may not even realize it's happening, but to others, it sounds like a never-ending storm of negativity. Whether it's about aches, the news, the weather, or how things used to be better, complaining can silently push others away. You see, people are drawn to energy, positive, uplifting, or peaceful energy. When someone is constantly voicing dissatisfaction, even about small things, that energy drains the room. Grandchildren visit less often, friends stop calling, and neighbors start keeping their distance, not because they don't care, but because it feels heavy to be around that kind of talk. I remember a man named Henry, 78 years old, who used to meet his friends for coffee every morning. Over time, his friends noticed he spent most of his time complaining about his health, politics, and how no one respected elders anymore. At first, they listened out of sympathy, but eventually they stopped showing up. Henry didn't understand why. The truth was simple. He made every conversation about frustration, not connection. As we age, pain, loss, and frustration naturally come with the territory. But there's a choice in how we express it. You can either use your words to connect or to repel. A person who speaks with gratitude, humor, or lighthearted honesty can lift others up, even while sharing their challenges. Try this for every complaint that crosses your mind. Replace it with a story, a memory, or a small appreciation. Say, "My knees ache, but they've carried me through decades of life." Or, "This world sure has changed, but isn't it something how much we've witnessed?" That shift doesn't just change how others see you, it changes how you feel. When you bring light instead of gloom into a room, people will want to be near you again. And that's one of the greatest powers of aging gracefully, not denying hardship, but facing it with dignity and gratitude. Number 2, talking too much about illness and medication. Another thing that makes others quietly uncomfortable, yet most elderly people never realize, is constantly talking about health problems. It's understandable. When you reach your 60s, 70s, or 80s, your body becomes a big part of your daily concern. You have doctor visits, pills, aches, and maybe surgeries behind you. But when health becomes the only topic of conversation, it starts to wear others down. Think about it this way. When every conversation begins with "my back hurts again," or "I think the new pill isn't working," people start feeling helpless. They don't know what to say. They can't fix it, and it reminds them of aging, pain, and fear. Even your children and grandchildren, who love you deeply, may feel anxious when you always speak about your discomfort. There was a woman I once met named Carol, 82 years old. She was lovely, sharp, and kind, but she had one habit. She talked about her blood pressure, her medications, and her pain every single day. Over time, her daughter began calling less, not because she didn't care, but because every phone call became emotionally heavy. One day, Carol said, "I don't understand why she doesn't visit much anymore." The truth was simple. Her words had become centered on pain, not life. This doesn't mean you should hide what you're going through. Sharing honestly is healthy, but balance it. Share a health update briefly, then shift the topic to something positive, something light. Ask others about their lives. Tell a story from your youth. Offer advice, laughter, or perspective. That's how you reconnect beyond your body and remind everyone, including yourself, that you are much more than your ailments. you can talk about your health without making it the heart of every conversation. The goal is not to pretend to be fine. It's to live in a way that reminds everyone you're still alive inside. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 3, ignoring personal appearance. As we age, comfort often becomes a higher priority than style, and that's completely understandable. But many elderly people cross a subtle line without realizing it. They stop caring about their personal appearance altogether. It's not vanity, it's self-respect. And when you neglect it, people notice, even if they never say a word. You see, appearance isn't about wearing fancy clothes or trying to look young. It's about showing that you still care about yourself, that you still value your presence in the world. When your hair is unkempt, your clothes are stained or mismatched, or your breath and hygiene are ignored, people may begin to view you differently. Not because they mean to judge, but because they sense that you've stopped caring. I once knew a gentleman named Robert, 81 years old, who used to be sharp as a pin in his youth. But over the years, he gave up. He wore the same shirt 3 days in a row, skipped shaving, and told everyone, "Who cares at my age?" His daughter later told me something that struck me deeply. She said, "It's not that I mind how he looks. It's that it makes me feel like he's given up on living." That's the hidden truth. When you neglect your appearance, it sends a silent message that you no longer respect or cherish yourself. But when you take a little time to groom, to wear clean clothes, to smell fresh, you don't just look better, you feel better. You stand taller. Your mood changes. Others respond to you differently. This doesn't mean chasing trends or pretending you're young. It means dressing with dignity, keeping your body clean, and taking pride in who you are. Remember, how you present yourself each morning is a reflection of how much you still believe your life matters. And the world sees that, even before you say a word. Number 4, interrupting or talking over others. One of the more uncomfortable habits many elderly people develop, often without realizing it, is interrupting others when they speak. It usually doesn't come from rudeness. In fact, most of the time, it comes from excitement, habit, or fear of forgetting what you wanted to say. But to others, especially younger people, it can feel like you're not listening. Think about how conversations feel when someone keeps cutting in. The other person slowly shuts down. They stop sharing because they feel unheard. This happens often between seniors and their adult children or grandchildren. The elder means no harm. They simply want to express their opinion or correct a point. But to younger ears, it sounds like dominance or impatience. I once met a woman named Linda, 76 years old, who had a warm heart but a sharp tongue. Whenever her son spoke, she jumped in halfway through his sentence, saying, I know, or that's not how it happened. Her son began visiting less. When I asked him why, he said something profound: I love my mother, but it's exhausting trying to talk when I'm never heard. Listening is one of the greatest gifts you can give. It costs nothing, but it builds trust and connection faster than anything else. When you let someone finish their thought, even if you disagree, you show respect. You show that their voice matters too. Here's a small trick that helps when you feel the urge to interrupt. Take a slow breath and listen until the person pauses naturally. Then respond calmly. It not only makes others feel valued, it makes you seem wiser and more composed. And remember this: at your age, people want your wisdom, not your correction. They want your perspective, not your dominance. When you speak less and listen more, your words gain more weight. People will begin to lean in again, eager to hear you. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 5, complaining without realizing it. One of the most damaging habits older people fall into, often without any intention, is constant complaining. It doesn't always sound like loud negativity sometimes. It slips in through small comments like, everything is so expensive now, or people these days have no manners. Over time, those little phrases add up, and they quietly drain the energy of everyone around you. At first, people listen with sympathy. They nod, they agree. But after a while, they start to pull away. Why? Because negativity, even when mild, is contagious. It darkens the atmosphere, and most people, especially younger ones, will instinctively avoid that feeling. They don't want to argue or disrespect you, but they protect their own peace by keeping distance. There was a man named Harold, 79 years old, who had this habit. Every conversation started with what was wrong: the weather, the food, the government, or his neighbors. He never noticed it, but people began avoiding him at family gatherings. His granddaughter once said, "Grandpa's stories used to be fun. Now they just make everyone tired." When Harold realized this, it broke his heart. You see, complaining doesn't make you powerless. It makes you seem trapped in your own frustration. And the more you do it, the less others can see your wisdom and kindness. The truth is, you have lived through countless challenges and changes. You've seen history unfold. Use that to inspire, not to discourage. Instead of saying things aren't what they used to be, try saying, "I've seen many things change, but I'm still grateful for what remains." That small shift turns complaints into perspective. And perspective is what wise elders share best. When you focus on what's still good, people feel lighter in your presence. They'll want to listen to you again, not because they have to, but because your words bring calm, comfort, and hope. The kind of presence that people remember long after you've gone. Number 6, acting like you already know everything. This one might sting a little, but it's one of the most common habits that quietly push people away. As we get older, we accumulate decades of knowledge, experience, and wisdom. We've seen things, survived things, and learned lessons the hard way. But sometimes that wisdom turns into something else, an invisible wall that shuts out new ideas. Many elderly people, without realizing it, start every discussion from a place of certainty. When someone shares an opinion, they respond with, "I've been through that," or "That's not how it works." What they don't see is that those small remarks can make others, especially younger people, feel unheard, even dismissed. There was a man named George, 84 years old, who had lived through incredible experiences. His grandchildren adored him when they were little. But as they grew older, they stopped asking for advice. When I asked why, one of them said, "Grandpa never listens. He just waits for his turn to talk." That hit him hard. He wasn't trying to be arrogant. He just wanted to share what he'd learned. The truth is, wisdom doesn't lose power when it listens. It grows. When you stay curious, open-minded, and humble, even at 70, 80, or 90, you show people that learning never stops. And that attitude is magnetic. People want to be around someone who listens, reflects, and shares, not lectures. Try saying, "That's interesting, tell me more," instead of "I already know." It softens the moment and builds connection instead of competition. Remember, your years have given you perspective, not permission to close your mind. The wisest people aren't those who know the most. They're the ones who never stop learning. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Final thoughts. Growing older doesn't make you invisible. It makes you more noticeable in different ways. The way you carry yourself, the words you use, and the habits you hold become a reflection of the life you've lived. People, especially the younger ones, quietly observe these things. And while they may never say it out loud, they feel it deeply. But here's the beautiful truth. It's never too late to change what people see in you. If you replace bitterness with gratitude, impatience with gentleness, and pride with humility, you'll find something miraculous happens. People will naturally be drawn to you again, not out of obligation, but out of genuine warmth. You've spent a lifetime learning, loving, and surviving. Now is the time to shine in a different way. Not by being the loudest voice in the room, but by being the calm presence everyone feels safe around. That's real wisdom. That's real dignity. So, take these lessons not as criticism, but as a mirror to grow from. Small changes can bring back deep connections with your children, your friends,